Good morning, F2, and welcome to our maths lesson. What I'd like you to do first is think about what day is it today. While we're doing that, let's find the days of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yesterday, it was Thursday. So what day is it today? If you said Friday, you're right. My turn. Today is Friday. Your turn. Well done. Today, we're going to keep practicing finding one more using our 10 frames. It's my turn first, and then it will be your turn. 1 more than 6 is, so first I need 6, then I will add 1 more, and now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That tells me that 1 more than 6 is 7. Now it's your turn. Use your 10 frame to help you if you need to. If you think you already know the answer, then you can just write it down. Pause the video while you do that, then come back and we'll check it together. Okay, now you've had a turn. Let's have a look at the answers. So, shout the answers out when you know them. 1 more than 5 is, yes, it's 6. 1 more than 6 is 7. 1 more than 7 is 8. 1 more than 8 is 9. And 1 more than 9 is 10. Now, before we move on to the next part, I want to have a look and see if we can see any patterns. Now, before we look at this together, pause the video, have a look down this column and down this column and see if you can notice a pattern in the numbers. Okay, now you've had a look at that, let's have a look together. So the first number, let's have a look at that first. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're counting forwards with those numbers, and every time they are getting bigger. Let's have a look at the number that we had at the end. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're counting forwards again, and our numbers are getting bigger. Well done if you spotted that pattern. Okay, so today we're going to continue identifying a part and a whole. And we're going to use numerals to represent each amount. Here we have a boy and some girls on our part, whole. The boy is in one part, the girls are in a different part. This number here would tell us how many children we have all together. I'm going to represent this using numbers. So here I'm going to represent how many boys we have. What number will I need? That's right, I'll need 1. There is 1 boy. The 1 here represents the boy. This time I'm going to write a numeral to represent the girls. What numeral will I need? How many girls are there? 1, 2, 3. I need the numeral 3. The 3 represents the girls. Now, I'm going to move all of these children into the whole so that I can find out how many there are all together. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to write number 4 here and the 4 represents all of the children. Let's have another go. Oh, look, our part whole has turned around, but it doesn't matter. We can still use it in the same way. Okay. How many umbrellas do we have that are closed? Yes, we have 1. So I'm going to write 1 in this part, and that represents the 1 closed umbrella. How many umbrellas are open? Yes, there are 2. So I'm going to write 2 in this part, and that represents the 2 open umbrellas. Now, I'm going to move the closed umbrella into the hole and the open umbrellas into the hole. How many umbrellas do I have all together? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to write the numeral 3 here to represent all of the umbrellas. Now it's your turn. Have a look at the orange spots on the top part hole and write the numeral here that represents the orange spots. Then have a look at the blue spots and write the numeral here that represents the blue spots. Do that part first and then come back and we'll do it together. Okay, now you've had a turn. Let's do that part together. So we're just looking at the parts. We're looking at the orange spots first and then the blue spots. Let's count the orange spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't need to count those. I could see that there were 4. I wonder if you spotted that. Well done if you did. Here's number 4. The 4 represents the orange spots. Now let's have a look at the blue spots. I'm not going to count them this time. I can see that there are 2. I'm going to write the numeral 2 here, and that represents the 2 blue spots. So my part hole tells me I have 4 orange spots and 2 blue spots. Now I need to work out how many I have in the whole number. Let's move them across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause the video while you write the numeral that represents the whole amount. Okay, did you write the numeral 6? That's the one we needed, isn't it? We needed 6 because we have 6 spots all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the 6 represents all of the spots. Well done if you got that right. Okay, this time let's start by identifying the whole number. So here we have some hats. There are some red hats and some blue hats. But we don't need to worry about that just yet because we're finding out how many hats we have all together. How many hats do we have all together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to write number 5 here to represent all of these hats. We have 5 hats, so I've written number 5. Remember, the 5 represents all of the hats. Now, this time I want to know how many red hats I have, so I need to move the hats into the 2 parts. Let's move the red hats first. 1, 2, 3 red hats. I'm going to write 3 here, and the 3 represents the 3 red hats. This time, I want to know how many blue hats I have. Let's move the blue hats and count them. 1, 2. We have 2 blue hats. Let's write number 2 in here to represent the 2 blue hats. Okay, let's have a go at a different one. Oh, our part hole has turned around. Does it matter? That's right, it doesn't matter. We can still use it the same way. So we're starting with the whole amount. Here we have red dots and blue dots. We don't need to worry about their colour just yet because we need to know how many dots we have all together. Let's count them and find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 red dots. I'm going to write number 7 for the 7 dots. Now, remember, my 7 represents all of the dots. This time, I want to find out how many red dots I have. So I'm going to move some of these across into this part. There we are. Can you see how many red dots I have? That's right, I have 2. I'm going to write 2 in this part to represent the 2 red dots. Now I want to know how many blue dots I have. Let's move them across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 blue dots. I'm going to write number 5 here, and the 5 represents the 5 blue dots. So you can see I have 2 red dots, 5 blue dots, and I have 7 dots all together. Now it's your turn. Have a look carefully at the shapes. There are 2 different types of shapes. That should help you to move them to the parts. You have circles and squares. What I'd like you to do is write the numeral that represents the whole first. Then move your shapes and find out how many circles there are and how many squares there are, and write the correct numerals in the parts. Pause the video while you do that, then come back and we'll do it together. Okay, now that you've had a turn, let's have a go together. So how many shapes did you find all together? Let's check and find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 shapes all together. Here's my 5. My 5 represents how many shapes we have all together. Now I want to know, how many circles do we have? Let's move them and count. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 circles. Here's 4 to represent how many circles I have. Now, I need to work out how many squares I have. Let's move it down. How many squares do I have? That's right, I have 1 square. Here's number 1. This one represents the 1 square that we have. Well done if you got that right. Okay, this is a little bit of a challenge. Can you identify which part whole represents the pictures? So we're looking here. We're looking at this part whole, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it. While I'm talking about it, I want you to look at these pictures at the bottom and work out which one is representing the spots in the top part whole. Let's start by counting how many spots there are all together. What's the whole amount? 1, 2, 3, 7. So the whole amount is 7. Let's have a look. Where does it say 7? Is this one 7? Or is this one 7? That's right. This one shows us 7. This one doesn't. This one only shows us 6. Maybe it's going to be this one that represents the dots that we can see. Let's move the spots into the parts and find out. So first, let's move the red spots. Are you ready to count them? 1, 2, 3 red spots. Can you see a number 3 on one of the parts? Here. That's not a 3. And that's not a 3. This porthole doesn't have one part that shows 3. Let's have a look at this one. This part shows 3. This one does not. But here we have one part that shows 3. I wonder what you're looking for now. We know that the whole number of spots was 7. We know that there are 3 red spots. I wonder if this one will be correct. How many blue spots do we need for it to be correct? That's right, we need 4. Let's check and see if it's right. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is. This one is right. Look, we have 4 blue spots, and this 4 represents the blue spots. Here we have 3 red spots, and this 3 represents the 3 red spots. When we put the spots together, we had 7 spots, and this whole number represents all of the spots together. This one is the porthole that represents the top one. Well done if you saw that. Let's have a go at this one now. How many do we have all together? Let's count them and find out. I don't think we need to count these. I can see there are 4 and 1 more. And I know that 1 more than 4 is 5. I don't need to count those shapes. If you're not sure, let's just check to find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 shapes all together. Which porthole tells us that we have 5 shapes in the hole? Is it this one? No, this one says 4. Is it this one? Yes, this one says the whole number is 5, sorry. The whole number is 5. And that's what we need it to say. So this one so far is correct. Let's keep finding out if the rest of it is correct. So first, I'm going to count how many triangles we have. Are you ready to count with me? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 triangles in this part. Does this part tell us that there are 4 triangles? Yes, it does. So it tells us the whole is 5, and we had 5 shapes all together in the hole, didn't we? So that's right. Now it's telling us that there are 4 in this part, and that 4 represents the 4 blue triangles. I wonder if this part will be correct too. What's it telling us? What does the 1 represent? That's right, the 1 represents the 1 square, and it is correct. So this porthole tells us we have 4 blue triangles, we have 1 blue square, and all together we have 5 shapes. Well done if you spotted that. Now it's your turn. What I'd like you to do is pause the video and talk to your grown-up about which of these part holes represents the pictures shown at the top. Pause the video and have a go. Don't worry if you get stuck, because when you come back, we will do it together. Okay, now you've had a turn, let's do it together. So, how many balls do we have in the hole? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And which of the bottom part holes has 6 as the hole? Let's find out. Is it this one? No, this one says 3. We have 6. Is it this one? Yes, this is the right number. But we need to find out whether these numbers are correct. First, let's have a look at how many red balls we have. 1, 2. Does this part hole say we have 2 as a part? Yes, it does. Now, what's the 4 telling us? The 6 represents how many balls we had all together, and that was correct. The 2 represents the 2 red balls, and that was correct. But what's this part telling us? What does the 4 represent? That's right, the 4 represents the green balls. Here are the green balls. How many can you see? Yes, there are 4. This number 4 represents the 4 green balls. This 2 represents the 2 red balls, and the 6 represents how many balls we have all together. This one is correct. Well done if you got that right. Okay, here's your task for today. What I'd like you to do is to have a look at these part holes. Some of them you only have the parts, and some of them you only have the hole. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to complete the part hole by writing a numeral in the empty spaces. So let's look at these together before you go. So in this part hole, you're going to move the triangles and the rectangles to find how many you have all together, and you're going to write it as a numeral in the hole. For this one, you're going to think about how many yellow spots you have, how many green spots you have, and here you're going to write how many you have all together. Now, this is where it gets a little bit trickier, because I've given you the whole number. So what you need to do is write in one part how many green balls there are, and in the other part how many blue balls there are. And the last one, I've given you the whole again, so you need to write how many blue squares in one part and how many blue triangles in the other part. When you've finished with that, can you take a photo and send it to our class email address to show us how you've been getting on? That's the end of our maths lesson for today. And now it's the weekend and it's the school holidays. So have a lovely half term and we'll see you after the holidays. Bye.